Furthermore, we have Lucian of Samosata. Now, Lucian was a 2nd century Greek satirist. This would be the equivalent of SNL. He was a famous satirist who was a Greek. And Lucian wrote his book, The Death of Peregrinus, around AD 165. Peregrinus was a man who allegedly converted to Christianity. And when he was put into prison, Christians came and brought him food and clothing. However, Lucian said these Christians were simple-minded fools. They were naive. They were being duped by Peregrinus. He wasn't a true Christian. So that is the context for this quotation, that Lucian is making fun of Christians because they are so naive and so forth. Lucian writes this. He says, "The Christians, you know, worship a man to this day, the distinguished person who introduced their novel rites, their new rites, and was crucified on that account." So Christians worship a crucified man. Well, you see, he writes, these misguided creatures start with the general conviction that they are immortal for all time. They believe that they're going to live forever. This explains, he writes, the contempt of death. They don't fear death. And the voluntary self-devotion, which are so common among them. They believe that they're going to live forever, and so as a result, they're willing to give up their lives for the sake of others, and they have a voluntary self-devotion. They're loving people. Now, this is from one of the enemies of Christianity. He writes, "Then it was impressed upon them by their original lawgiver that they are brothers from the moment that they are converted, and they deny the gods of Greece, and they worship the crucified sage and live after his laws." So these Christians, they won't worship polytheistic deities, but they will worship a crucified man. You see that they believe that whoever this person is, that he is something greater than the polytheistic deities of Greece. Indeed, all this they take on faith, with the result that they despise all worldly goods alike, regarding them as merely common property. They're extremely generous. At this point, people say, well, this must be some sort of an interpolation. But again, the criterion of embarrassment wouldn't seem to fit with this. He calls them misguided creatures. And if you read the greater context, he says these people are naive fools, being duped by this man, Peregrinus. He uses language like patron, lawgiver, and crucified. In the original language, this isn't language that appears in our New Testament. Patron, lawgiver, that's not in the New Testament to refer to Jesus. Even the word he uses for crucified isn't the same word that is used, sterao, in Greek. It's not the same word used by Lucian here. So the language is different, and if you read the greater context, and even the section I read for you here, Lucian is making fun of Christians, not trying to support them.